All right, everybody. It looks like we are live with another broadcast here. First, let me say I hope everybody enjoys the weekend and get some much deserved rest. I know you enjoy that extra day off from school. But we covered yesterday a lot of fundamentals with regards to setting screens, running off of screens, and how to deliver screens. We're going to really pick that apart because these fundamentals is something that you'll use throughout your basketball career, whatever level. I'm going to show some examples. So we're going to do something a little different today in respect to I won't have direct videos from our practices. I have a ton of that footage, and a lot of you guys have been asking about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a separate breakdown video that I'll send directly to a link. It'll be hosted so you can watch it from your phone. You can download it on your laptop, whatever you choose to do with it. But today we're going to just focus on what we kind of did in practice, and I think everybody started to see why it was important. But this is just going to be something that we're going to carry out, building our fundamental background in basketball. All right. So we're going to talk about what people now call the loop play in basketball, and that's where you basically have three bigs, or you should say two forwards and a center down low that are setting a screen. Now, Golden State has made this really popular, but this is basically what the Spurs do quite a bit. So when they beat Miami a few years ago in the championship, they were very successful. Miami actually took it away, and they weren't successful. So it's originally called the zip trip, meaning the first option is to do what's called a zipper cut. And that's where a player is on the wing. He cuts down very close to going out of bounds, and sometimes will go out of bounds. But most of the time they stay in bounds. They go down to the post area. They come up to receive the ball. And what ends up happening, just because it's a guard that's free, that has a full head of steam, he's catching the ball, and the person that's guarding him is probably having to run through screens, people start to sag towards that man. So the guy that might be at the wing might come over to worry about this guard. His guy is still coming up to chase him, and you'll see that they can dump it down. So that's like the first option out of this zip trip play or the loop. But most of the time what we see is the trip part, and that's where you go through the three screens and you catch that guy on the other side open for a shot, or what happens a lot of the time, another dump down to a big man for an easy score because of the confusion that it's causing. So I'm going to switch to show the zipper cut. So we should all see a graphic now. All right. And you have the offensive player denoted by the 1, and the C is just referring to a coach, just like if you're doing a drill. But that could be another player there. They wouldn't be that close because of spacing. But let's say we're doing our drill. X2 is the defender that's running around to chase this person. So 1 goes around the baseline, comes around a man. This man hopefully will set a screen and hit the defender to slow him down, and then he catches the ball. And now what's going to happen is this guy is running up. Whoever's over here is probably going to slide over. This person's going to slide over. And what you'll see is this big will be open. All right. So since we covered the other part of the play, or sometimes people run a whole offense off of this, we'll just go right into the video where we kind of show some of the things that we were doing yesterday. And this is all kind of be dedicated to the Spurs. I can get some Golden State plays as well. So I'm going to switch to that video now. So you'll see this starting from a action of just bringing the ball up the court right into the action. So it's going to go pretty quick. All right. So we got the ball up the top of the key, and the guy that's the person going through the action was Tony Parker. And that happened really quick, but there's a play, so I'm going to start that over again. So Tony Parker passes the ball up to the top of the key where we were running the action yesterday, and he comes around, and his guy chases and recovers, and he draws the big, and it was an easy dump down. Tony Parker, again, is the guy. He's being chased. Pretty poor chase by the defender there, and he gets open again. Now you see Tony Parker, and he's just taking around this trip. He's looking for the zipper cut. It doesn't come, but, he goes through the rest of the play. So now he's coming back. Not quite a zipper cut because he came on the opposite side, but it still led to the same thing. It caused confusion. So there is an example of where Nail hurt the other team. He actually kind of broke from the play, so to speak, and attacked the middle of the baseline. The middle of the free throw line. All right, so we're just going to run this for a little bit longer just so we can see different actions. And what we know, since we worked on this in practice yesterday, this whole thing is Tony Parker. And he's playing against NBA teams that play 82 games, that have coaching staffs. They know that this was their running. They know that this is the primary thing that they're trying to do. So a lot of the people on this team have gotten a lot of credit back when Tony Parker was younger for their contribution to the game. But as you can see, the Spurs, until they started to really get these younger guys to really kind of come into their own, this was their offense a lot of the time. So this is with Tim Duncan. This is, with Ginobili. And they're running Tony Parker primarily through this action. So I can keep going. And as I, go through the video, you'll see as the Spurs started to get better, more comfortable, and as Tony Parker started to slow down, they started running the other players. They would be, the people. And now what we did at practice was we said to ourselves, hey, everybody on this team is going to be able to run this. Every single player to a man will be able to run this, and we'll be able to cause a lot of confusions because if you're paying attention to the video, it may look like he's going back and forth, but he's making decisions. So as we kind of talked about, and I'm going to switch back over because we could watch this all day. Really good basketball here. But we are reading it. How is our guy trailing us? Did he get caught by the man or defender? Is another situation open up as someone lost track of what was really going on? Because if you really slow down this video, and I hope everybody rewatches this stream, watch the defender. Okay, like I said, everybody there knows this is coming. Everybody there. The only people that may not know are watching the game. They're just there to enjoy the basketball game. But everybody else knows, both coaching staffs, all the players on the bench knows it's coming, and you'll see that the defender is playing a frantic style of man defense. He's caught in between playing deny, chasing, or what have you, and if these picks are set correctly, you'll have a situation where you have an open for a shot, or as the guy recovers, you can read how he's attacking you, and he's recovering, and you can dump it down to a big. So there's a lot of possibilities, and that's the reason why the Spurs have made it a staple. That's the reason why the Golden State Warriors have been very successful running this play, and that's the reason why Luke Walton, who now coaches the Lakers, is running this play like crazy with D'Angelo Russell. So the next practice, we're going to go over some of the pitfalls. Okay, so I mentioned how when Miami lost to the Spurs, they were very effective at running this play. One of the things that Miami did to basically stop them from scoring on their bread and butter was if Tony Parker went all the way through, what they would do is they would have that last defender that's on that side. He would leave his man, but he would crowd Parker as far as possible to the three-point line. and give another guy time to rotate over, and that way he couldn't dump it down to a big, and then he was in a tough shot scenario because they were effectively trapping Tony. So he'd have to swing it back up to the top of the key, and that was just, came down to simple things as screening your man. The man wasn't screened properly, and they were able to effectively shut them down. All right. So it looks like I've got a lot of people watching this broadcast, and I was wanting to see if, since I see a lot of people saying they're here, if you had any questions regarding this, even if you want to send me a text message, because I would like to hear kind of your thought process on this. So I'm just going to give you guys a few minutes. It could be anything. There are no stupid questions. We're here to learn. That's why we do practice. That's the reason why we're going to start doing this game film, these live streams. And again, I'm going to have a ton of your film ready before the next practice, where you can individually go out and download and watch this stuff. So I'm just going to pause for a few minutes and see if anybody has a question. I'm actually typing something as well. They're very good. All right. So Sean Boyd just asked on Golden State, who runs through the screens. So that could be, there's two parts to that question. So that could be what was happening last year. So as we know you're going to run Steph through a lot of screens. Okay. And you can also do the same with Clay. And this year, would not be surprised, and we all need to look for it. I personally, if I'm running Golden State, I would have Kevin Durant do it as well. Because the thing about him, like Clay, like Stephen Curry, if he catches the ball, not only can he shoot from there, but he also is a willing passer, and he's also a very good driver to the basket. So if he gets a full head of steam, he can have a confusion type thing happening where the defender says, hey, I got to make a decision, so I'm going to run out, and he's driving to the basket, and that's going to leave someone like Draymond down low open. So very good question. Let's see if we have any more questions here. Give me just 1 second. All right, we'll go back to it. Okay, so we kind of covered the Spurs action. I'm not saying that we're going to run exactly that. But one of the things that we are going to do, and the reason why we're working on this is, if I show this this tape to some people that I used to play with, if I show or talk about this, to a lot of people that have, spent time doing basketball, they may respond with, well, this is what every team should be doing anyway. They literally should be doing this every single time down. The coach shouldn't have to say anything. Some variation or some form of this. This is simply playing basketball, setting good picks, and reading and reacting to what the defense is doing. So fundamentally, and you're going to hear me say this quite a bit as we really start working on our fundamentals and also working on our basketball IQs this upcoming year, is offense, although it's pretty, and it was nice to watch Golden State the last couple of years. It was awesome watching Kyrie and LeBron do what they were doing. But if we look, LeBron can take it to the basket. Golden State shoots a lot of threes. But if we look at what's going on and we looked at that play, they're running a lot of offense. And from an offensive standpoint, a coach, their goal is to ultimately, as I say, is not to get a three-point shot, not to get a dunk at the basket. Well, dunk at a basket every time, that would be great. But not always to get a three-point shot. It's to get everybody open and get the ball as close to the basket as possible and efficient. And ultimately, we want you to have wide open shots. Wide open shots are harder to defend. So I encourage everybody to go to a Magic game as early as possible. I'm not sure if UCF does this with the college students, so that's the reason why I'm saying a Magic game. But if you go to a game early as possible where they're warming up, you don't even have to watch Stephen Curry. I know it's impressive. He's hitting half-court shots after half-court shots. The majority of those players with no defense and they're by themselves working out are not going to miss a shot. You'll just be sitting there going, man, this guy not missed. Why is he missing the game? And the reason why they miss during the game is because they have to go against really good defenders. All right. So let's see. Oh, have an announcement to make because I don't think everybody was at practice this upcoming round. So we will start our league. So get prepared. We'll start our league. I believe it's the first week of November, and at that time we're going to switch back to 2 practices a week. So I need everybody before then to check in with me. I need to know how your grades are, what's going on with those, because I know, 8th and 9th grade, we're pretty much everybody's in high school now. So we need to clarify that. So if we need to make an adjustment to the practice days or what have you, we need to sort that out now because I don't want you guys getting too far behind. I know report cards are coming out. I think it's next week. So let's make sure we get that taken care of. All right. So I am going to talk about one more thing, and then we'll head off early because, like I said, I've got a ton of video that people have been asking about. Shooting form, some of the other things that we've been going, and they want to actually see it so they can start making adjustments. So I'll start getting those tapes ready for everybody. But one other thing that I want to talk about, we started going through picks, okay? And if you remember, like when I talked about like when we are setting, let's say, a ball screen, so we're doing an on-ball screen and we're going to roll to the basket. One of the things that we're going to do is next week at practice is really get everybody concentrating on delivering that screen, making sure they're touching the other person. There's no reason. We're all amongst friends, and I would say 90% of us, do that without issue. But we also need to open up to get the ball afterwards. So a lot of you guys are setting the screen and you're kind of doing whatever you feel like to kind of get open after that. We're going to have to really make sure that we're pivoting the right way so we can properly get the ball. Because that, if we do one thing, we set the screen right and then pivot the wrong way or whatever, that's a difference of getting a score and not getting a score. So we have to make sure we do all of this the correct way. All right. And it looks like, no, it looks like I thought we had another question. So I'm not going to hold this stream that long. I know this was another short one, but I want to say to everybody, have a great weekend, and I will be in touch with your parents soon on those other videos, okay? All right, I'm going to sign off, and again, Orlando Ballers, out.